Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Evan Knits Things YouTube channel. I'm Evan, and I knit things. You can find me here on YouTube, Instagram, Ravelry, Goodreads, just about everywhere under that same name. And today is podcast episode number 21. So today I have for you 3 finished objects. That's right, 3 finished objects. 2 whips I'm working on, 2 acquisitions, and some book chat. And I think that's about it. Given that I filmed last week's episode on, I think it was Sunday? Yeah, on Sunday. And I'm filming this week's episode on Friday. It's been real short for me, so I don't have a ton of progress on things to show you. But yeah, so today for me is Friday, September 6th. And this episode will probably go live the morning of Saturday the 7th. If not, then Sunday the 8th. It just depends on whether I can get this edited today or not. So, as you can see, I got my new chair. It's really stiff at the moment, but that's okay. I'm hoping to hang some stuff up here. Like you can see the little ends. I have a yarn banner hanging there. And I'm going to hang up all of my swatches that I have. But I went to start hanging them with these little clothespins, and I was like, I think I want to weave in the ends first and make them look a little neater, because this on 30 swatches is a disaster. This was a swatch for a design I tried that never worked out. So, yeah, chunky weight, not the way to go for color work. I mean, this was supposed to just be on one side of a sweater, but it just didn't work. So I have 3 swatches that look just like this that you guys will get to see. But here's my pile of swatches to clean up. I don't know when that'll happen. I suppose look forward to seeing a few at a time, because there's no way I'm sitting down and doing all of those all at once. That sounds like torture. Okay, let's talk finished objects. The first one I'm wearing. So I showed you guys last week that I just had the sleeve left on this. This is the Padstow Cardigan by Victoria Marchant Knits, and I tested this for her. This is actually the second one that I knit. The first one I knit exactly to pattern, but given that I changed several sizes in the time from the test beginning to the time when I finished the sweater, it was massive on me. So I unraveled it after completing all of my test knit obligations, and I knit this one, which I will say is somewhat heavily modified. So let's get into it. First of all, this is knit in a fingering weight and a lace weight yarn held together. They're both Red Door Fiber Studio. The fingering is her Alpaca sock base, and that's a 50% non-superwash merino, 20% superfine alpaca, and 25% nylon. And it's 423 yards per 100 grams, and this is the colorway Lavender Latte, one of a kind. If you love this color, I do have a skein of this for D-Stash. So, leave a comment, or it's on my Instagram, or it's on the D-Stash Discord. So you can check that out. And the Suri base is just called Suri Lace Base. And it's a 74% baby Suri alpaca, 26% silk, and it's 328 yards per 50 grams, and it's the colorway Misty Step. Also, these incredible, perfect buttons are from Twin Mountain Handcrafts. I like never get buttons anywhere else for my knitwear. It's worth every penny, and they do custom. These are not custom. These are just the silver mirror, or maybe charcoal mirror, some gray mirror, but they were perfect, and I'm obsessed with them. For this one that I knit, I knit the size 3BY4, so 3 refers to the body circumference around the bust, which was 40 inches. The B refers to the sleeve size, which I think I did 13 inches, and Y4 is the combination of those two to tell you which yoke directions to follow. Things I changed about this sweater. I cast on less stitches at the collar, because the collar was very open, which I didn't love. So I cast on less stitches and did 1 extra increase before getting to the lace yoke. So there's less collar stitches. Second thing, I went down another half needle size to knit all of the ribbing, just so it was cinched a little more. Third, I shortened the body length by 10 rounds, rows, because it's a cardigan. Fourth, there's shaping at the hem. I don't really know why. Like, instead of there being shaping, like short row shaping at the collar, it's at the hem. And the last time I knit it, I didn't really feel like it did anything, so I omitted it this time. I did more rows of ribbing on all of the places, on the hem, on the cuff sleeves, on the collar, and on the button bands. I picked up more stitches for the button bands. Just so it wouldn't do this. And finally, I did a tapered sleeve instead of, it's supposed to be a straight sleeve that kind of balloons at the cuff. I don't really like that. So I did a tapered sleeve. Oh, and I did a custom button placement since I picked up more stitches for the button bands. Wow, that sounds like so many things, but they're just like little tweaks here and there to make this the perfect garment for me. Would it have been fine without all of those other things? Yes, but this one is perfect just for me. So this pattern is still in testing. The last day for testing of this pattern is September 23rd, and then the pattern launch currently is October 18th. So I will give you guys a reminder when it's coming close to the pattern coming out, and I'll talk to you about it again then. So that's the first finished object. I can tell I'm going to live in this sweater. There is one problem though. I bound off too tightly at the bottom edge of the cardigan, and so I can't button the bottom button. And you're thinking to yourself, well, why don't you just unpick the bind off and do it looser? I can't, because you pick up the button bands after. So I'm not ripping off both button bands to redo the bind off on the bottom of the sweater. So we're just not going to button that bottom button, and it's going to be just fine. I don't really anticipate this being a cardigan that I button much anyway. I mean, I could, but like, this isn't really my look. This is very like teacher. So, but I'm gonna take this off now because I'm sweating to death. It's like supposed to be like 87 degrees today. It was cool for the past couple days. Today, way hot. So, this is great. Caution on this yarn, the alpaca sock, it will pill like crazy if you don't hold something double with it, so that's why I'm destashing the extra skein. It feels incredible, but I don't know what I would use just that one skein for. I think it would be too hot in a hat. So, yeah, that's that one. Second finished object. The second finished object is ta-ta-da! And if you haven't knit this pattern, you're like, what is that? This is the Musselburgh Hat by Isolde Teague. I'm knitting this, well, I did knit this for my husband. It's been my purse project for forever, it feels like. I cast this on June 2nd, and I bound it off 2 nights ago. So, this is knit up in Knit Picks Stroll, which is a fingering weight yarn, and it is a merino nylon blend. I believe it's a 75-25. This is the colorway Midnight Heather. It's 231 yards per 50 grams. This is the adult large size, and it's the 9.5 stitch gauge. I can't really put it on. I have my hair in a claw clip, but my husband didn't want to roll the edge at all. So if you're thinking, oh, that looks really short, yeah, because he doesn't want it like that. He wants it like this because he's difficult. Does it look kind of stupid? A little. But it looks fine on. So, I did finally finish this, and now I need to cast on a new purse project. Leave me purse project ideas in the comments, because all of my current projects are not good for leaving the house with. They're either giant, or they require a lot of fiddling, or they require multiple balls of yarn. And none of those things are great for a travel project. Could I just cast on another Musselburgh? Yes. Yes, I could. I do have socks, I guess, but I don't know. We'll see. So this is finished. It has not been blocked yet. It needs blocked, and hopefully it will get blocked today. So that's finished object number 2. Not as excited to talk about. Finished object number 3. Doo-doo-doo-doo. This is the Dewdrops Cowl by Rachel from Rachel is Knitting. I am currently testing this for her. Last week you saw the headband. This week I finished the cowl. I cast on the cowl on September 3rd, and I finished it on September 3rd. This is the worsted weight version, and this yarn is by Purl Scout yarns. It's her Starry worsted base, and last week I told you guys that she's not dyeing anymore. Well, guess what? This week I happened to look at her page, and she's coming out of retirement. So maybe you will be able to get this yarn in the near future. I highly recommend it. It feels great. So this is the worsted weight cowl. It's not blocked yet either. So it's looking a little lumpy at the moment, but it's fine. It'll be great after blocking. Like I said, I am testing this for Rachel, so you can't get the pattern yet. The test knit is due by September 30th. I have finished both now. I do need to block this one, and then I need to measure how much yarn I used for both of them. Like, I have the ball left. It's very small. what I have left. But yeah, these are super cute. Great stash buster if you're trying to get rid of bits and bobs. Last finished object. Oh, this colorway is called Nightwalker, by the way. So that's the third finished object. And now I have 2 whips to talk to you about. Okay, the first whip I have to talk to you about is my Polygon Blanket. This is patterned by Tin Can Knits. I'm using DK weight yarn. I told you guys I wanted to knit 1 hex every week, so I'm doing okay at that at the moment. Oh my gosh, this is a terrible idea to have multiple balls of scrap yarn in here at a time. Jeez, oh man. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 total hexies. This is the one I knit this week. This is in Red Dwarf Fiber Studio Classic DK in the colorway Starfall. It's gorgeous. I was able to get a whole hexie out of what I had left. It seems that a hex takes between 8 and 10 grams depending on the yarn. I had 14 grams of that, and I wanted to see if I could get a half out. Well, that's over halfway done with the half hexie. Like, it'll look something like that. So I looked through my scrap yarn to see if I had another yarn that I could finish this with, and I think I can get away with using this one just for the middle of this hex, and if it looks terrible then I'll unravel it. It's fine. So I got 1 1/4 hexies done this week, actually this morning. So just for reference, for the size I want, I need approximately 128 full hexagons and 30 half hexagons. I've got 6 1/4. That makes me really depressed. But yeah, okay. We're gonna be done talking about that now. So, that's my Polygon Blanket. I did do that. The next whip I have to talk to you about, you guys haven't seen yet, but you did see the swatch. This is the Sizzle Pop Shawl by Knit Graffiti, and this is a sample for Fiona Kay Knits. It's knit up in her yarn in her Stampede fingering base in 2 colors. The purple is Crystal Ball, and the black is Sparkle Goth. So here, let me see if you can see that. This is obviously what I've spent most of my time on this week, since it is a sample. This is due October 4th. And I think I've made okay progress. I mean, it doesn't look like much, really, but brioche takes a long time, you know, because, like, for 1 row of progress, you're knitting 2 rows, and then you gotta knit the same 2 rows backwards on the back. So, 2-color brioche takes a long time, but it's really pretty, and I think it's gonna look great. So, yeah. This is what we're going to be spending the most time on. Because it's due October 4th. My husband and I leave for Ireland for the Irish Knitting Tour on October 5th. So it's got to be done way before that. Because getting ready to go on a trip overseas without my children or my dog requires a lot of brain power in getting ready for. So, Sizzle Pop Shawl. That's all the knitting I have to tell you guys about. I don't have a what am I wearing to tell you guys about, because you already saw what I was wearing, and now I'm just wearing a t-shirt. Let's talk goals. Goals since Sunday were to finish my Sizzle Pop swatch, which I did, to cast on the Sizzle Pop, which I did, to knit 4 pattern repeats on the shawl. So you knit like an 8-stitch repeat for the very like corner bit, and then you knit, it's a 16 row repeat that you repeat 10 times for the whole shawl. I have completed 5 repeats so far, so I have 5 pattern repeats left, but obviously they get bigger every repeat. So, but I did complete the number of repeats that I wanted to. I wanted to block my Dewdrops headband, which I did. I wanted to finish my Padstow sleeve, which I did. I wanted to block my Padstow, which I did. I wanted to finish my Musselburgh hat, which I did. I wanted to knit 1 hexie for my Polygon, which I did. I wanted to redo the cuff on my August Cuff Club socks. I did not do that. And I wanted to do the short rows on my Teddy half zip, and I did not do that. So, goals for this coming week. The only goal I'm setting for myself is to attempt to finish that shawl, to knit 1 hexie, and to weave in some ends on some swatches. Let's try to do 1 swatch a day. Does that seem reasonable? Is that unreasonable? I'm going to say that, and then if it's too much and I come back next week and I'm like, what the frack was I thinking? Well, then we'll deal with that then. So that's goals for this week. Kind of, but not really. Whatever. We're going a little bit loosey-goosey, and that's fine. I must say, my whip list is very small right now. It is never this small. There's only 6 things on my whip list, and 2 of those are very long term. Like the giant pink blanket and the Polygon are long term. They are not getting finished anywhere near now, and that's fine. Like, they don't even count as the whip list in my brain. Okay, so let's talk acquisitions. Okay, acquisitions. There's a lot, but it's really not a lot, okay? So, one is an order I placed, and one is a giveaway I won. So, here's all the yarn. Let's break this down. Okay, so these 3 is the order I placed. This is from Desert Panda Fiber Arts. They were supposed to go to Flock, got COVID, decided to be responsible and not go. So then they put all the yarn that they were going to take to Flock on the website, and they had a little sale, and I wanted to support them. So I got these 3 skeins of Suri-ously Silky Alpaca, which is a 74% baby Suri alpaca, 26% mulberry silk, 328 yards per 50 grams, and this color is called Portia Featherington. Yeah, so if you remember my slime lento is knit in mohair. which is a no-go in this house apparently. So this is Suri, so I'm going to unravel the sweater, destash the mohair, and reknit it with this. And it's going to be fantastically amazing. Second, okay, I've got 1, 2, 3 full skeins and 5 minis from Asylum Fibers. Patty from Patty J Lyons on Instagram was doing a giveaway with Asylum Fibers, and I won. So I got these 3 full skeins. I got, let's see, 2 skeins of Merino DK. This one is the colorway Slick. This one is Ultramarine. These are both 100% superwash merino wool, 231 yards per 100 grams. And the other full skein I got is the Luxe Fingering, which is 100% superwash merino wool, extra fine, and it's 438 yards per 100 grams. And this colorway is called Pink Sky. And then I've got 5 minis. I have 3 in the Durable DK base, which is a 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. This color is called Brick House. This one is Black Dahlia. And this one is Teal Chaos. And these are 49 yards per 20 grams. And then I've got 2 fingering weight minis. This one is Merino Fingering. It's 100% superwash merino, 87 yards per 20 grams. And this colorway is Big Red Rhineback Tree. And then this one is Twisted Sock. It's 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 80 yards per 20 grams. And this colorway is Crushing It. So, a big giant thank you to both Patty and Asylum Fibers. This is some of the squishiest yarn I have ever squished. Like, just look at this. Squish. Squish. Look at that. That's some drape there. Like, the fingering, not so much, but look at this DK. Like, the minis, that is squishable, man. So, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with these. I have no idea what I'm going to do with the minis. They're going to go in my mini bin for now. No idea what I'll do with these. They will probably be part of socks, because that's what I tend to do with minis. This Slick is going to go into a faded DK sweater that I have a bunch of individual skeins in the pink purple family with hints of green and red, and this is going to be the final color in that fade, and it's going to be perfect. This, I think, needs to be a hat because it is so blue and so incredible. So if you know a DK weight hat pattern that only requires 1 skein, drop that below for me, because this needs to be on my head. This seems like it's destined to be in some kind of colorwork yoke. I don't know what, but I think it needs to be. Because it's super pink, and I love it. So, that's all the acquisitions for today. Thank you again to both Patty and Asylum Fiberworks for that. Finally, let's have a little book chat. Now, given that this was not very many days in between episodes, I don't have much to tell you in way of books. I've only finished 1 book since we talked this past week, and that was Dragon Slayer which was part of the Wings of Fire Legend series by 2ET Sutherland. I gave that 3 stars. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad. It was meh. I don't understand how this fits into the story, or why it was supposed to fit into the story where it did. Maybe I'll learn more and then I'll be really happy that I read it, but right now it's just kind of like a little offshoot that doesn't have anything to do with anything. I am currently reading The Lost Continent, which is Wings of Fire, book 11, also by 2ET Sutherland. I've got about an hour and a half left in that, so I should finish that pretty quickly here. It's fine so far. We're meeting a whole new bunch of dragons that we know nothing about, so it's kind of a learning curve at the moment. My husband and I are still reading Tower of Dawn and Empire of Storms by Sarah J. Maas. We're doing the tandem read of the two of them. And we're still reading Ruin and Rising by Leigh Bardugo, which is Grishaverse Book 3. But we haven't read that at all this week because we haven't gone anywhere in the car with the children. Last week, I asked you guys to help me pick which book to start. Well, I didn't start any of them. Well, technically I did. Okay, so the choices were The Summer Skies by Jenny Colgan, Elantris by Brandon Sanderson, A Study in Drowning by Ava Reed, or Stockings and Spells by Nancy Warren. Okay, I started A Study in Drowning, didn't feel like listening to that, turned it off. I started The Summer Skies, same. I am very much a mood reader, and if I'm not in the mood for that, I'm not reading it right now. It doesn't matter if I waited 6 months for it on hold on the Libby app. I'm not reading it if I'm not in the mood for it. And right now, I am not in the mood for anything that I have or that's on my list or anything, and that's really frustrating. And my husband reminded me what I usually do in this situation is I go back to a classic, Agatha Christie. So I think when I finish when I finish The Lost Continent in a couple hours, I will then start After the Funeral by Agatha Christie, which is one of her Hercule Poirot mysteries. And that'll generally get me out of a funk. So, I think that's the plan. If you've got ideas, drop them below. There's not really a lot of things that I won't read. I'm not really into dark romance, and I'm not really into horror. I mean, like, something with horror-y vibes is fine, but definitely no, like, slashers. So, that's all I had to talk to you guys about this week. Thanks for stopping by. Like, comment, subscribe. I am on a journey to 500 subscribers. I know we're nowhere near that right now, but that's why I need your help. So, subscribe if you haven't already. Go follow me over on Instagram and hit that little notification bell so you'll know when the next video goes live. So thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you next time. Bye!